They thought Israel was finished, crushed, enslaved, humiliated under a king who ate like a god and ruled like a tyrant. But God was preparing a weapon they would never expect, a quiet man with a hidden blade, and a divine mission. This is the story of Ehud in the book of Judges 3:12-30. For 18 long years, Israel groaned under the hand of King Eglon and the Moabites. Day after day, the Israelites toiled in the fields, weary and oppressed, while Moabite guards watched over them with relentless eyes. Hope seemed distant, and the people cried silently to God for deliverance. But God had chosen a man, a left-handed Benjaminite named Ehud. Calm, observant, courageous, and faithful, he stood before the Israelite elders. With solemn hands laid upon him, they entrusted him with a hidden purpose, not knowing what God had inspired in him. Alone in his workshop, Ehud carefully forged a double-edged dagger, 1 cubit long. Sparks flew from the metal as his hands worked steadily. Once complete, he hid it under his tunic, ready to carry out the mission God had given him. At dawn, Ehud led the tribute from Israel, baskets of grain and oil, through the village, watched closely by the people and workers. Every step carried determination, and every glance carried silent hope. Today, something extraordinary would unfold. At the gates of Moab's palace, the tribute-bearers bowed and presented their offerings. Moabite guards jeered and shouted, but Ehud remained calm, his gaze steady. Inside, King Eglon, an overfed and arrogant man, lounged in his lavish throne, oblivious to the destiny approaching. After delivering the tributes, as they got outside the city gates, Ehud signaled the tribute-bearers to continue home without him. They walked away, puzzled. Leaving him alone in the sunlit road, the hidden dagger rested at his right thigh. He was ready. His moment had come. Ehud approached the palace alone. The Moabite guards watched him cautiously, but allowed him entry. Calm, composed, he moved with purpose. The weight of God's plan was upon his shoulders. In the private chamber, Ehud bowed slightly and spoke words he claimed were from God. King Eglon, indulgent and dismissive, rose slowly. Silence filled the room, thick with tension. Every heartbeat echoed as destiny drew near. With precision and courage, Ehud drew his left hand across to the hidden dagger. The king didn't see it coming. In one swift motion, the deed was done. The king fell silently. His crown flew over. Ehud quietly exited the chamber, locking the door behind him. His movements were steady, composed. The palace was unaware. The deliverer had completed his mission. The Moabite guards arrived and found the chamber locked. Confused and embarrassed, they assumed the king simply wished to be alone. Their hesitation gave Israel a crucial advantage. On the hills of Ephraim, Ehud blew a ram's horn. Israelite warriors, disciplined and fierce, gathered around him, ready to fight. Hope had returned, and courage surged through the hearts of the oppressed. At the fords of the Jordan, Ehud led the Israelite warriors against the Moabite troops. Panic spread among the enemy. Dust rose, weapons clashed. The enemy's troop was stopped from crossing Jordan. There was an epic scale of God's deliverance and Israel's triumph. And so Israel knew peace for 80 years. Ehud, the left-handed deliverer, stood among rejoicing families. Children played. Farmers tended flourishing fields. Elders smiled. God's chosen hero had restored freedom and hope. Ehud's story reminds us that God often chooses the unlikely, the overlooked, the underestimated to accomplish his purposes. Thank you for watching this episode. Please subscribe to the channel to be the first to know when new episodes are uploaded.